again.
Face off inside the Oilers zone. They control. It's Van Allen out to center ice. And back after it are the Amerks. It comes to their line, and Flickle has it. He'll feed it up ahead, looking for Thomas. Inside the zone. After it will be Herbers along with his man. And that was Hinks, I believe, out skating him for the puck. Wawrinka one-handing it to Maltby. Maltby just chops it out to center ice. Van Allen will have it there. Van Allen going one-on-one against Flickle. Van Allen looking for someone to give it to. He'll turn and fire it towards the goal. And it's kept into Maltby. Now behind the goal, Maltby is hauled down there by Yob. No, that's McDougall by Yob. McDougall and Yob all tangled up, and that would have been a penalty in the first period. Haas is hauled down. Now Flickle back for the Amerks to Hinks. Hinks now taken out of the play nicely by Gordmark. Frawley tried to go in and get it. Now it comes up here on the left side to Haas. Haas against Flickle, kept in at the line though by Young, but it rolls to Gordmark in front of the goal. He'll flip it up to Rice. Rice can't get by his man. That's Young at center ice. And Brad Rubachuk back to get it. He and the Medicine Hat Tigers. Skating inside the line, knocked away from him. Van Allen is going after it. Van Allen now at center ice with Curry. Curry, oh, what a move by Curry, coming in, shot, hit the goal post. Dan Curry just wrangled off the pipe as he was set up beautifully by Van Allen. He made a fine move himself. Curry is flying out here. Penalty coming up now to the Rochester Americans. And it is Bloomberg, or rather, yes, Jeff Bloomberg down just outside his line. And Brad Rubachuk will be heading to the box. Time once again for the Steel City Sports Bar Oilers power play, and it is who, John?
Once again, Glenn McLeod from Sydney, and good luck, Glenn. We haven't had a winner tonight. Maybe this is it.
So if Glenn McLeod, or out of the Oilers score, Glenn McLeod, you'd pick up a dinner for two at the Steel City Sports Bar. And as I mentioned, they'll be having a Calder Cup party tonight, along with Simons on George Street, the Steel City on Townsend. As Wawrinka drives it inside the zone, comes over on the right side. Podine trying to knock it down, could not. Amerks have trouble clearing, and now it's White to the side of the goal. Quick shot stopped by Kolzig. Thornton in there after it. They're getting some power play time. The Thornton, Podine, and White line. Wawrinka along the left point. He'll throw it across over into the far corner. Thornton is on it there. Scott Thornton has a lot of energy underneath him in a tough second period, but he has played well here early on. Gordmark coming in on the left-hand side. Melanson puts the grip on him, and the puck comes free, and it's cleared down the ice. Actually, it went into the penalty box there. 4-2. 13:33 left to go in this third period, and we're going to go down again to ice level to our own Roy Mercer. And what's the feeling down near the bench, Roy?
Well, Paul, I'm down here, and it looks like we have our technical difficulties relieved. I normally don't come down the alleyway until about 4 minutes to go in the game, so I don't want to mosey up along because I usually watch the game with Andrew Verner, and I don't want to, you know how superstitious hockey players are. But the
5 left to go in the minor to Rubachuk. 13:28 here in the third period. They lead it 4-2. And the Amerks control, slap down the ice. Back to get it will be Jeff Bloomberg. He'll set things up with Ian Herbers. Bloomberg now left side to Herbers. Herbers in the neutral zone, has McDougall to the far right, has him at the blue line, but McDougall couldn't take the pass.
It sounds very familiar, Paul. I've been in that boat, on that boat, in it and under it.
And Rubachuk finds him in it here. The Oilers with a man advantage. They have 36 seconds which to work. And now Haas in the lead pass coming near the goal. Couldn't get the shot away. Kolzig way out of his net. Now he'll move back into the crease. Haas to big Roman Okshuda. Brown trying to take him out of the play. Okshuda goes down. McDougall back to the point. Wawrinka did a beautiful job of keeping it in. In front to Haas. He scores! Oh, baby. David Haas with the hat trick. And what a play by Wawrinka at the blue line.
Well, Paul, you know, we try to teach young hockey players all the time, when the puck is bouncing and it comes to the blue line, you use your hand, you bend over, you use your hand, you catch the puck, and then you drop it in front of you. And Brett Wawrinka did just that. He caught the puck was bouncing, he dropped it on the blue line, he threw a nice easy pass, he feathered the pass over to David Haas, and David Haas scored his third goal. And this is what I was saying about the power of this hockey club. You just can't shut down any one guy. Somebody else always seems to come to the forefront.
Wawrinka. And what a job Wawrinka did at the point to keep that puck inside the line. And he fed Haas near the goal, and he made no mistake putting it up over Kolzig. A power play goal, I might add, and that means that our buddy Glenn McLeod will be heading to the Steel City. Just dropped by 95 CHER, Glenn. Business hours, 9 to 5. Monday through Friday, we'll pick up a voucher, and you can enjoy a dinner for two from the Steel City. And also tonight, the Steel City in Simons will be hosting a Calder Cup party. And we're 12-19 away from that with a 3-goal lead. The Oilers now will be quite content. We'll probably add a couple of more goals as Curry and Rice try to break away at center ice. Frawley inside his own line. Amerks will be desperate now as Curry has it at center ice. He'll throw it back in deep. Kolzig will set it up there for O'Donnell. Sean O'Donnell works it to Rubachuk. Rubachuk in the neutral zone. Feeds it up towards Frawley, but it's broken up by Curry. Now to LaRue. Lead pass to White at the Amerks line. White dumps it over on the right side to Podine. Podine puts the brakes on. Podine now in the far corner. O'Donnell has him pinned. Frawley could not move it. Now White to Thornton. Thornton dumps it behind the Amerks goal. Rubachuk will beat everybody to it. Now Rubachuk takes a big hit from Podine. And it's over in the opposite corner as this line goes back and forth. Thornton goes down. O'Donnell has him pinned to the ice. And the Amerks will control. That's Rubachuk behind his goal. 11:24 to go now in the third period. Rubachuk couldn't find anybody to give it to. And he'll send it down the ice, much to the disgruntled. They're down near the Oilers players bench. And Roy, after that 5th goal, what is the mood of the crowd at the moment?
Well, the mood is that everybody's getting ready to celebrate. And I just noticed they brought over a table, and it's all draped and ready to go. And I would imagine in just a few minutes from now, the Calder Cup is going to arrive.
Rod Hinks back for the Amerks. Shot right on goal, and Cowley stacks up the pads. We'll get to things,
The
but
shoe in, and the only sad part about that is not that Bill McDougall doesn't deserve it, but Wayne Cowley has had a tremendous playoffs also. I mean, he only lost 2 games. He's played very well against St. John's. He's played very well against Fredericton, and but I really feel that Bill McDougall is the MVP.
shot up towards the right side. That's Podine. Could not reach it. The Amerks send it back in. Now it's controlled at center ice by Peter White. White, oh, he drilled one off of Snell.
In control over it. It's happened a lot of times in the game of hockey.
So we're approaching the midway point here of the third period. The Oilers have the lead at 5-2. It's played back inside their zone. Now at the line, Savaglia couldn't catch it, and now Thornton lead pass to Podine, right side. Podine moving into the front of the goal. Shot kicked away by Kolzig. Rebound. They score! Scott Thornton finally has broken the ice. And there's nobody more relieved than Scotty Thornton. And it is 6-2 now for the Oilers. And folks, let the party begin here at Center 200. The bench has just erupted, and they pretty well now can sense it. And I can't believe it. Scott got a goal. I'm so happy for him. He had just struggled through these playoffs, wondering when it was going to happen, and he got one here.
Well, you know what, Paul? I saw something here. When Scott Thornton scored that goal, I saw Bill McDougall and Dan Curry put their arms up in the air, and Bill McDougall and Dan Curry actually danced on the bench. They were up and down, up and down, up and down. And you talk about chemistry, that's what makes chemistry, is togetherness.
So Thornton from Podine is first to the playoffs. And Francois Leroux with another assist. And the Oilers, if they score another goal here, would be close again to equaling another record, and that would be goals by a team in the playoffs. As it's back inside their zone, the puck rolls over Wayne Cowley, and it just bounced near the net. Ben Allen ahead, looking for Rice, right on goal. Kolzig will play it away from Rice. Now he gets it out to center ice, dumped back in by Gordmark. Rice went flying into the end boards. He's just getting back into the play now. It's thrown across ice over in the far corner. Mark chopping at it. It comes out through the neutral zone, bounces down the ice. Curry is racing in there after it. He and Van Allen go in there. Curry touches it, comes out in front to Rice. Shot blocked there by Brown, and Brown, despite the score, is showing some gusto as he went down in front of that shot. Face-off taken by the Amerks inside their zone. It's Dean Melanson of Nova Scotia. He has had a fine final. His team has not performed, I guess. Well, they have performed as hard as they could, but they're just a little bit short. Shot near the goal, blocked by Cowley. Rebound Haas. He'll play it outside the zone, and Roman Okshuta has a beat on it. Kolzig comes out. He'll clear it away right to Okshuta. He scores! Roman Okshuda. Oh, Olaf Kolzig, what a play that was. He'd love to have that one back. And the run is on. The Oilers now lead it 7-2. Okshuda with a shorthanded goal. And folks, wherever you are in Cape Breton, if you're listening, put the champagne out, get it ready to go, because we can start celebrating. Oilers now leading at 7-2.
Well, did you ever doubt, Paul, that this would happen? I mean, after all, when have you ever seen me in a white tux and a bow tie? I mean, right. I knew this was going to happen, and that's why I dressed the part.
Amazing. The Oilers now, as John Van Boxmeer will take a timeout, and the fans are on their feet, I guess. The goal, the Oilers have tied another American Hockey League record, the goal set by the Sherbrooke Canadians in 1984-85 for 85 goals in a playoff series, or playoffs. They have now scored their 85th, and still 9:06 to play here in period number 3. The goal by Okshuda, his 9th unassisted. They're in there once again looking for blood. And the Sherbrooke Canadians, as I mentioned, setting that with Patrick Waugh in goal. And the fans are excited here at the center. No question about it, and they deserve it. Comes in on Cowley. He'll kick it up on the left-hand side, looking for Warenka. Haas is there. Melanson moving in. Now Warenka along the boards, gets it towards Haas. Haas trying to feed it out to a McDougall. Now he gets it again. He and McDougall at center ice. Here he comes to the Amherst zone. He'll play it in deep. We're under 9 minutes to play now in period number 3. Oilers lead it big time, 7-2. Looking for their first ever Calder Cup championship. They lead this series 3-1. They have only lost twice in these playoffs. First game to the Fredericton Canadians to open the postseason. And then in game 1 at the War Memorial in Rochester. Both games, incidentally enough, were in overtime, so the Oilers could in fact be undefeated. And they continue to roll along. Played inside the Amherst zone. Comes just outside the line. LaRue will dump it back in. The Oilers will clear. 7:55 now in the third period. That's what's left to play. And they're content now to sit back. One man will go in. It is Scott Thornton against Snell. Snell will try it up along the near far boards, rather. It rolls out through the neutral zone. On it is Bloomberg. Bloomberg to the left side to Peter White. White plays it in deep. Kolzig will stop it for Snell. Snell turns, dumps it right side to Philippe Boucher. Boucher, his pass nowhere near anyone, comes right on goal though. Wayne Cowley now will play it. And he gets it ahead to Curry. Curry to Van Allen. Van Allen throws across ice in the far corner. The Oilers have enough goals. They're not looking for any more. They have one man in it, is Rice. He'll allow the pass up to Rubachuk, stolen at the line by Rice. He collides with his own man, Van Allen. Now Rubachuk again to Yob. Yob could not play it as he went to the players' bench. Van Allen hit Young with his clearing attempt, and he dumps it back as he gets it back to Olaf Kolzig. Now it's Brown inside his own zone. Brown into the middle. It is Frawley now left side. Frawley works to the center ice circle, dumps it on the right to Flickle. Flickle top of the right circle. His pass goes cross ice to Rubachuk. Rubachuk moves it in deep. And Van Allen has his man tied up, but Young breaks free to Flickle at the point. Easy for me to say. And a shot stopped by Cowley. And LaForge clears to Curry. Curry just dumps it up ahead. Kolzig forced to play it to Brown. 6:29 left now in the third period. Lead pass to the Oiler line, broken up by Ian Herbers, and Brad Warenka has it. Warenka looking for McDougall. McDougall allows it to slip inside the Amherst zone where Flickle gets it back. Up to Gordiuk. Gordiuk to the Oiler line. Can't get by Brad Warenka. He ties him up against the boards. Now it's McDougall. McDougall spins away from one check, gets it to the line. Melanson keeps it in. McDougall now tries to check him. McLaughlin shot. Oh, that just went wide. Melanson left point. Slaps it into the corner. Herbers gets it back near the blue line. Amherst keep it in. McLaughlin try to feed it up ahead. Maltby steals to Warenka to Haas. Haas allows it to go by him inside the American zone once again. It's Dean Melanson. Melanson skates it through the neutral zone. Comes to the Oiler line. His shot, a weak one, blocked. And now it's Herbers. Herbers up the right side to McDougall. Haas breaking in. Haas just couldn't reach that lead pass. He'll skate back to the Oiler bench. 5.5 minutes now left to play. Third period action. Oilers with a 7-2 lead here in the Calder Cup. Game number 5. They lead it 3-1. Shot from Hinks goes wide. Amherst pretty well know now that they are not going to win the Calder Cup. And they have seen defeat as a franchise the last 2 times they've been in it. In fact, Springfield has beaten them. This is a different team, a young club, and a lot of hockey ahead of them. And I'm sure John Van Boxmeer, despite what's happened here tonight, has been proud of how his team has played. Now it's out near the Amerks line once again. Philippe Boucher to Snell, back to Boucher inside his own zone. Podine up to Forchek. Puck goes by him to Hinks. Hinks loses control in the neutral zone. Podine will just chop it softly inside the Amerks line. Boucher is on it. He'll chop it now to Hinks. Hinks will try it right side. Into the middle to Daw. Daw off Van Allen. That puck ends up over the glass. And we'll have a face-off. 4.5 minutes left to go. And I see down below now Jack Butterfield, John, the president of the American
Rochester. Rochester certainly didn't quit. They just don't have the power, and they just don't have the bodies to cope with the Cape Breton Oilers.
Play inside the Amherst zone, or rather the Oilers zone. It's taken there by Gord Mark. Now he comes back, sends it inside the Rochester zone once again. Calls the gut of his goal to Curry at the top of the left circle. Now at the line it is Curry. And the Amerks will get a chance to play it. Taken there by number 4, Todd Flickel, out to Rubachuk. 3:44 left to go here in the third period. That puck goes up over the glass. We'll take our final break and bring you the remainder. We're back here at Center 200. We'll bring you the final 3.5 minutes of this hockey game. At center ice, it's Young working inside the Oilers line. Oilers can't clear the zone. Gordiuk, his weak attempt taken by Haas. Haas now to McDougall, has Maltby out there on the right side. He plays it into the near corner. He'll go off for a change. The defense get a chance to move it. Now LaRue inside his own line, off the boards. Comes out to O'Donnell. O'Donnell try to move it ahead. McDougall plays it in deep. 2:56 now to go. Third period action. Game 5 of this Calder Cup final. Oilers leading it 3-1 and 7-2 here tonight. They led 3-1 after the first. It was 4-2 after 2, and now 3 goals here in this third period. Have pretty well iced it for them. David Haas with 3. Romanuk Shuda with 2, and Dan Curry, along with Scott Thornton, have scored for the Oilers. The Amerks have goals from Victor Gordiuk and Scott Thomas. Under 2.5 minutes to go now, third period. The fans are on their feet here at Center 200. Boucher could not keep it inside the Oiler line. Bloomberg just out to center ice. Thomas dumps it in. LaRue can't get it by McLaughlin. Snell is there, moving into the right corner. Snell throws it over on the opposite side. On it is Podine. And the roar continues as we're winding our way to the first ever Calder Cup championship here in Cape Breton. As it comes out in front, Thomas has Kalidas shot. Hit the goal post. Now behind the goal, Thomas once again. Try to work it out in front. Bloomberg has him tied up. Bloomberg and Thomas. Puck comes free to Rubachuk. Bloomberg against the end boards. McLaughlin in there now. Boucher way up. Here comes Rubachuk in front. Quick shot. Cowley to save. Now Boucher. Behind the goal. It comes up on the left-hand side and rolls down the ice. Back to get it will be Snell. He'll touch it and we'll have an icing call, and it's time now to really get underway. As the fans are on their feet, I guess it's behind the bench. George Burnett, Norm Ferguson, Dave Can, Murray Stevens, and John Head, and it goes on and on, but those people should get some credit for what has gone on here. And Jim Johnson as well, we're valid point. Jim does a lot of work here behind the scenes for the Oilers, and he has done a fine job of getting this place sold, I guess is the best way of putting it. And now we're under a minute to go. Sent down the ice again. back to touch it. No icing on the play. Kolzig doing the, I guess, the sportsman-like thing, allowing Flickel to play it. We'll wind it down here. A minute to go. The Cape Breton Oilers. The 1992 Calder Cup, 92-93, has its whistle down, a glove pass, and that'll give the fans a chance. No, it's not. I can't even hear myself here. Half a minute to go now. The celebration has begun as the fans at Center 200, after 5 years, a lot of torture, but this makes up for it, no question about it. And we're winding it down. 15 seconds to go. Mark LaForge has it behind his own goal. He'll send it up on the left side to the captain, Dan Curry. He dumps it to center ice. And here we go, folks. The Cape Breton Oilers, the 1992 Calder Cup champions, defeating the Rochester Americans tonight 7-2. They win the Calder Cup in 5 games. Let the games begin. The celebration begins. And I should remind everyone listening out there, the Calder Cup parade will be held tomorrow night, beginning at the north end of George Street. The Oilers will take the Calder Cup down Charlotte Street, up to Dorchester, down the Esplanade, through Townsend, at Sheriff and Prince, and then back here for a rally at 6:30. But we'll tell you a little bit about that tomorrow. A mob scene behind the Oilers goal, and the fans are coming onto the ice. And John, what more can we say? Outstanding. The Oilers are the Calder Cup champions, 92-93.
And if you really want it summed up, Paul, every guy that was not in the lineup tonight, from Craig Fisher to Richard Borgo, they all had their Oilers sweaters on. And when the final bell rang, they went over the boards and they jumped into the crowd. There's not one guy. The Scott Allisons, they were all there. They were all part of it. They played a big part the whole season, and it's just an absolutely phenomenal year. And what a way to celebrate your 5th anniversary. Second to none, believe me. And let's not take anything away from Rochester. They played hard. They played well throughout this entire series. They just didn't have the horses, and they just didn't have the power to cope with the strong Cape Breton Oilers.
Okay, we're going to go downstairs now to our own Roy Mercer. And Roy, what's the mood like down there?
Well, I'm on ice over at center ice, and I look at George Burnett's having a tough time to rally the troops. They're still celebrating down the corner to come and shake hands with the Rochester Americans. And if you can hear, they'll be bringing out the Calder Cup. If you stay with me, Paul, and follow me along for just a moment, I'll get George Burnett when he's through shaking hands.
Okay, Roy, we will, and the Calder Cup is making its way to center ice. Jack Butterfield, the league president, is bringing it out. And I'm sure the MVP of this series will be, or the playoffs will be, Bill McDougall. And we're going to Roy now with George Burnett down at center ice level.
And Coach, how do you feel now after 5 years for the Cape Breton Oilers? Your first year as a pro. This is unbelievably nice.
The feeling doesn't get any better than this, Roy. This is, if we had thought we were going to have a chance at this at the start of the year, we would have been really excited. But I'm really happy for the people that are here tonight who've followed the club for 5 strong years, and for the guys like Sean and Danny who have been here, David Haas, have been here for 5 years. It's a credit to them, and we had a great year, really pleased.
We always say that hockey is a game of peaks and valleys, and this team certainly had the peaks in the valley this year.
Well, it was a peak in the playoffs. It was a great feeling, and we're really excited about it. We're going to enjoy this one.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
There you have Coach George Burnett now. Paul, I'll be walking around trying to get some interviews for you. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Roy. And the Calder Cup is now at center ice. And I think it is fitting that Dave Andrews and Sean Van Allen just embraced. They've gone through a lot here for 5 years. And Bill McDougall, I'm sure, will be the playoff MVP. The fans are coming onto the ice, and we're just going to wait for Dan Curry to pick up the Calder Cup trophy as we're trying to follow Roy. It is just mayhem here at Center 200.
Well, you know, Paul, general managers are made for trades, and we mentioned this earlier in the last few games back. Can you just imagine now, Dave is down on the ice, he's embracing everybody, but let's think about that Bill McDougall and then Mac.
So we're with Roy now, and Roy is trying to get into the pile there maybe, and we'll wait to see. And there it is, Bill McDougall is the MVP of the Calder Cup and the American Hockey League playoffs this year, and deservedly so. What else can we say? 26 goals, 25 assists, 51 points. and he was just phenomenal. Wayne Cowley should get some consideration, but really it was Bill McDougall right from the outset.
Well, you know, you mentioned Wayne Cowley. I mean, when you go back to the Fredericton series and the St. John series, Wayne Cowley really came to the forefront. But even with Wayne playing that well.
And we're just trying to get Roy now with the MVP and Bill McDougall.
Billy, congratulations. How does it feel?
Oh, this is great. But like I kept on saying, everybody played well through the whole playoffs, and I don't think there was any doubt in our mind that we were going to win tonight, and it's great. And this is what we worked by, you know, most of these guys 4 or 5 years for, and it's great for the fans here. It's just unbelievable. I can't explain it. I want to scream right now or cry. I don't know.
You've been very polite throughout this playoffs when we talk about the fans, but the fans are taking this.
Oh, it's great. Look at them. They're all still here, and they're going crazy. And hopefully we can all share a drink out of that cup with them tonight.
All right. Thank you. There's Bill McDougall. Let's go upstairs.
Thank you very much, Roy, and Jack Butterfield, the league president. If we can only hear him down there, and the roar of this crowd. Another guy down the ice, Brian Kern, could not play. He played game 1, broke his hand, and he was a big part. He played very well in these playoffs, and he's sharing it now, and the fans are getting down on the ice. And now Dan Curry is just about ready to come out, excuse me, and pick up the Calder Cup, and here he is, and he asked the rest of the team to come with him. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the Calder Cup resides in Sydney, and the Cape Breton Oilers now will parade it around center ice and through the crowd here as Dan Curry hands it over to Sean Van Allen as the team parades it around the ice. John, nothing doesn't get much better than this.
Well, Paul, you know what? I'm almost speechless here. You know, I feel like crying to a degree. It's sort of a sweet revenge for me, too, because the last time I was in it was a Rochester that knocked us off in the 7th round.
Okay, we're going downstairs now to Roy Mercer once again, as he'll probably catch up with Oiler General Manager David Andrews, and I think that's just what he's doing right now.
David, let me ask you. Tell me, you've been here.
I never thought this would ever happen.
This is unbelievable.
It's the best. Look at the people here. Unbelievable.
Larry Floyd started it, and Romanek should have finished it.
This is the best.
Very good.
The absolute best I've ever felt in hockey. These guys are unbelievable.
We've had some peaks and valleys, as I mentioned before, but this is probably the highest peak so far.
This is the highest peak ever. Those guys have so much pressure on them tonight to win it at home, and they really wanted to do it, and the crowd was so great, and what can you say? It's a great team effort, and George Burnett's just unbelievable. They should put a